This is how I use Claude Code to help me reduce my overall time spent on marketing from roughly 8 hours per day down to 1, and this is focusing heavily on the content side of things. What I do is I jump straight over here to my YouTube channel, and you can see here my last video, which was 2 days ago published. I'm going to convert this into Reels, and we're going to convert it into carousels and images. So first things first is I grab the SRT file, and the SRT file is pretty much already built into my system from my previous run that is done. And what we need to do is we need to open up departments on the left hand side, and you can see all these individual departments. I'll try and zoom in there quickly, and you can see all these individual departments that have specific jobs and skills built into them. So I have it broken down like this because I find it just much easier to actually work with it and just keep things a bit more organized in my head, I suppose. So what we'll be working in is content repurposing, and all I'm going to do is ask it straight up, what's the latest SRT file that we have to work with. So I might just use the device to see does it work on this. What's the latest SRT file that we have to currently work with at this moment in time? And I send it in. It may have already tracked this. If it has, it should come up then pretty much what's the last video that we used. So while that's working there, one of the key reasons I did this is because I'm sick and tired of spending a massive amount of time on some simple things like content creation. Now, as I said, we want to streamline this. We want to use AI to help us reduce the time spent on it. And one of the biggest problems that I've always had with this was where your time was actually being spent. And most people can probably relate to this very quickly. Is you're creating content from scratch. You're scheduling manual across all platforms. This is a major thing. You wouldn't realize how long this actually takes you to do until you actually start doing it on a regular basis. You're losing a massive amount of time trying to publish it across every platform. Again, we have no system, just a reaction. So most of these are probably in a position where you're just realizing you have to post today. You go off and you post and you hope for the best. Then what you have is obviously the copy and pasting across platforms. So again, most of these are probably doing this, scheduling on Meta. You post for Instagram, Facebook. You're trying to schedule onto TikTok. You're copying over your text, everything like that. Again, this system, none of that is needed. And if we just jump back over here, you can see here, this is the SRT file. The 3 SRTs currently in this are all these. What we're wanting to do is we're wanting to work with the newest one, which is obviously the one video, 30 days of content. So what we'll do is we'll get it to run the content repurposing on this. Okay, so I'm happy with that one video, 30 days content, SRT. Let's try and run this through the content repurposing factory now and get all the content that we need basically from it. Any questions, just let me know. So normally I would have this automatically set up for the purpose of this. I'm going to try and show you more of what it actually does throughout. We should be getting reels, we should be getting carousels, images, I think text posts, something like that. Again, just the reels, which is the big one. The reels still have to be recorded by me, and I don't have it set up for this purpose yet to try and cut these long form videos. The simple reason is because of the way I position these cameras. So you can see the cameras on the right here, the screen. It's very hard to convert this all and structure it the way I want it without having to spend a massive amount of time to code it and set it up through Claude Code. So again, it just reduces the main part here, which is this one up here, not creating content from scratch. Straight away, it's a massive help here. And with this, as I said, we have no time drain. Number 4 or number 5 is templates rebuilt every time. More than likely what happens when you're building carousels is you're constantly redesigning from scratch. And what ends up happening is you get bored with it very quickly. But with AI, we can have a templates with skills, but it can build it out. A few little tweaks can really change the overall style of the carousels. And one of the examples of that is I'm going to show you quickly here. So you can see here on my Instagram account, and what I've done is you can see my standard style varies. So it's this one here, this one, these over here. But only over the weekend I basically changed it to another style to kind of bring in a bit more fresher information into it. And again, this was all done by me just simply telling it I want a different design and style. Spent about maybe 20 minutes building out the skill, and once that was done, we are good to go. So again, it just shows you the power of, I suppose, not having to waste time using Canva, trying to build templates, trying to manually do designs. Unless you're an expert in graphic design and image design, then you're going to fly through it. So we're over here. It's pretty much starting to work through this entire process first. So starting the factory, wiping the staging first, then loading the strategies and foundations, and transcript in parallel. So you can see here it's pretty much doing everything here for us. And if I quickly show you assets, this is where all my assets go into. So in terms of logos, icons, every system basically is able to take everything from it. So if we go to assets, we have inputs I'm looking for actually. So inputs are here. So you can see these are my transcripts of all my videos. You can see these are screenshots that I throw in. Any research documents get put into here. And again, research is going to allow me to create maybe different types of content, especially news related content. It's very good to throw that in there. We have obviously transcripts. The videos are pretty much my long form videos that get put into this, which basically kickstarts the entire system, I suppose. So this is going to keep working away. What I'm going to do is jump back over here. So time drain number 6 is the constant rewriting. First drafts goes out, you're constantly kind of readjust things and you're never 100% happy with it. AI gives us the drafts we want, allows us to kind of streamline this process much quicker. Now again, I would recommend you never turn around and just post it for the sake of it. Always try and get more control over it, have a bit of input into it and take it from there. So what the AI system has replaced for me and how it's replaced it, I suppose, is the key thing. It's broken it down into 5 different, I suppose, separate areas here. Now, the top 3 tools are pretty much the tools that I use on a daily basis. I don't jump from one shiny tool to the next. Each tool has its own purpose and its main reason for what I do. Obviously, we have the Claude, which is the brain, and this is what the focus here today is going to be all about. And if we jump in over here, you can see it's still working away. It's given us, I think, roughly 14 pieces of content from it. Again, this can vary. I have this set up to vary for us. So as I mentioned, these are the tools we're using. I'm not going to dive much into the other two, but Higgsfield pretty much generates all my images, and then Potato pretty much helps me schedule all my content through all the different social platforms. You can see here I'm up to date, up to right now, basically the time of recording, and what I'm doing is this content that's being produced now will be the content that'll go for the next, I think, 3 or 4 days for me. And again, I can do this if I decided to go and have a cup of tea now or have a break. It'll pretty much just start working away on all this for me. In terms of this, I suppose, understanding how these works, the SRT, transcripts and Claude projects. As I mentioned to you, we're doing this at the moment in Claude Code over here on Anti-Gravity, and you can do this through Cowork. You can see here I have it set up to my folders as well. So what's going to happen is we're going to still have access to all these folders. So all these folders are going to be the same over there. Sometimes what people find is through Claude Cowork is much easier to actually work with. It's a bit more of an easier process, I suppose, to find things and get things organized and done. For me, I like using the code part of it because I can get a better view, I suppose, of what's actually happening. So with that, what we'll do is quickly see what's after being done here. So strategist plan here is kicked in. We have 6 idea briefs. We have 2 carousels, images, infographics, text posts. Pillar spread is obviously based on my content. Common call to actions again. The angles, again, we have quality versus quantity is the wrong question. Again, I'm happy with all these at the moment. If you wanted to, you would kind of go through these a bit more. Give a bit more feedback to it if it's your first run for definite. Obviously, the key thing that I have here is I have it built in here to the departments that I have a section here for content performance. So now it's basically learning from this each week. It learns from all the content that I produce, and pretty much we pull out some of the most recommendations, the best recommendations that help with our content. So 2 questions before I fire it off then. Carousel stylist run. Again, these are my 2 styles of carousel. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the main carousel. Our main carousel focuses on using Higgsfield. Our standard focuses on using HTML and coding, which just gives me 2 variations for that. We're going to focus on main carousel and with logos with Claude logo. Then we're okay with number 2 as well. And again, number 2. And pretty much that's it. So you can see here, we've got some information back. We've gotten reels. We've gotten carousels. We've gotten our images. We've got an infographic that's going to be generated. And we've got LinkedIn again here. So all this content now is going to be starting to be created for us in the background. And again, this is what I'm saying of how you can reduce the amount of time spent. Even if you were to create an image and you're trying to do it in Canva, it is going to take you probably half an hour if you're not familiar with design and stuff like that. What you're going to get is something very put together boxes, and I think that's one of the big things. Now, and I'm not saying that this system that I've built out using AI is going to just be perfect every single time. So you can see some of these images here are absolute rubbish as well, but they're much better realistically than what I'm going to be able to do myself. And in terms of simple images, these ones here, again, they're generated. It means I don't have to spend the time doing it. I can go off and do something else like record a video while I'm helping generate my content for the week. So this is one of the key reasons of why you build the systems that can actually help run the business, and not build some fancy systems that are doing something that you don't actually need for you. So this has allowed me to record my video now and generate my content at the same time, whereas most people still have to just focus on recording their video. Once that's done, they turn around and then start trying to create the content for the week. And again, it just becomes a massive drain, especially if you're trying to build up a business online, and especially if you're active on, what I am, I think 6 or 7 different social channels. So pretty much what a typical week looks like now for me is Monday morning, I run that system for about, as I said, 15-20 minutes. Drops the SRT files. As I said, because I upload a YouTube video, long form video nearly every day, Monday to Friday, what's happening is I have a lot of content there that I can use and pull into it. Claude pretty much reads the transcripts, surfaces the best angles and key moments, and starts to generate all our content for that. Pretty much our transcript produces a LinkedIn, carousel, scripts, infographics, the whole lot. We review and approve it, and then pretty much once it's done, it's going to get sent over to our scheduling folders. And just to see, so here's asking for what we're going to use for the images. So we're going to use the ChatGPT model, because I just find that much better. How do you want the Claude logos placed across the 2 carousels? So featured on every slide. So we'll look for the top one. We'll use the Claude logo here. So if we scroll down here, and I can see we now go to outputs. So in here in the outputs is my scheduling folder, and pretty much from here you can see where everything's going to go. So carousels, we have live news, my main carousel, and my standard. My standards, I have a few already done, so you can see here pretty much have been used. I end up generating these basically to use up my tokens if I haven't used them in a session. This allows me to kind of maximize my Claude subscription, I suppose, and not leaving credits wasted. So again, pretty much just get to do that pretty much every single time the credits are running out. So you can see again, images will go in here. My reels pretty much will go, finished reels will go into this scheduling folder. In this process here, my reels will go to Notion, because this allows me to kind of track and see what's working and start generating the content. And once I'm finished, I export them to here, and I can just get my scheduling agent then to pretty much schedule all the content. Again, tap of a button, go off, it creates individual captions for all the socials, schedules all the content into my available posting slots, and again, it just saves them more time again there. Okay, so here we are, pretty much about, that are taking about 5-10 minutes in total. You can see what has been done, what actually has blocked. I forgot to auth the Higgsfield, so I had to redo that beforehand. Again, a recommendation here when you're running these and using them, just make sure everything is connected 100%, because sometimes MCP connections are lost when you shut down the computer and stuff like that. So we've created 6 reel ideas. We have our 2 LinkedIn posts, we have an infographic, 2 image captions, 2 carousels pretty much being done. The carousels and stuff are being done here at the moment, down here. And all this content then is pretty much being sent over here to Notion. You can see these are the reels that I have ready to record, and pretty much this is exactly what I wanted. So the screen hook is pretty much the text I'll have on screen. Spoken hook is what I should be using at the beginning of it, and then these are pretty much the angles I'll cover in the actual reels. Again, it focuses heavily on what the long form piece of content was, which is perfect, and in a couple of minutes I'll record all these and get AI pretty much to edit them the way I want. Also, you can see how everything starts to come together for your business and for your day-to-day content flow. And what I'll show you is quickly this in a second, but yeah, this is still being built. So How to replicate it is simple enough. Pick your one tool and learn it properly. So for me, and I would advise to focus on Claude, try and use that to build out your system, start to understand what it can actually do for you. Don't try and set it up to do 1,001 different things at a one time for you. Keep it simple. Again, if you're interested and you're not sure about this, definitely look at joining the community. I look to provide as much information and help as I can on AI and marketing, and the likes of this, all my systems that I use, I upload them here for people to download and pretty much use it as they want. And any updates that I eventually make, I'll upload it again, and from there people can use it freely. Again, great way to kind of help you learn about AI, learn about Claude, and build a business. So once you have that, start with your transcript, build a repurposing loop for whatever platforms you want, and then add it to scheduling last. Again, scheduling is the big one that most people don't realize the amount of time that actually is spent in trying to post content. If you're just still using one piece, say Instagram for talk's sake, what's going to happen is you can, for the amount of time you spend posting on Instagram, you can get the same post up onto maybe 3 or 4 other social platforms. And again, more platforms means you're going to get more views overall, and over time it will start to grow. One of the key things to remember. So this is still generating the carousels, and what I'll do is the carousels will be done and I'll quickly show you that. So there you have it, all carousels have been generated, and if we quickly go over here onto the left hand side, you can see in my scheduling folder we have carousels, and what we have is we have carousel 1, the cover done, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4 and slide 5, and one of the key things here is bringing in official logos. The reason why it's able to do this is because I have my assets added into this, the logos, and also what we have here is the captions done. So we have a LinkedIn caption, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok caption. So when I go to schedule these, all these captions are individual to each platform, and allows you to really tweak and understand exactly what works and what doesn't work. And again, it comes from the learning phase of it. So as you can see, my content is more or less done now at this stage. I have reels, ideas that I've already recorded 2 of these while I'm waiting for this process to actually finish off. I have my images ready to go. I didn't actually show you the images, so if we go back to here and we go back to images here, I think it is, again you can see we have one image there done, and we have another image here done, and again all done for us. And if I quickly make myself disappear, you can see that, and we have all the images done. Again, we have the same thing, we have captions done based on the platform, so Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We have it obviously, yeah, so they're the only 3 platforms that I use for posting my images. So again, really easy way to do it. Next step, in another video, I'll show how I actually schedule all this content, and from there you'll see how it all starts to join up together. So look, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to learn more about how you can do this, definitely look at joining the community. We have all the information that you need for this, and the community is helping each other grow and use AI online. So look, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching.